Hello everybody, I hope everything is okay. I send you from here a lot of strength and encouragement. I am sure that pretty soon we will be returning to our day-to-day situation. I'm introducing you a new presentation, a homemade one with a cellular, a laptop and a TV. I'm going to try to give you some information so you can use some ideas to work with your teams and your players. I am going to use also a new format uh, that I will be explaining later, and everything conditioned by the situation we are living. A few weeks ago I began to work on this idea and study and began to research on what we know as visualization, a technique that you probably know and that you have surely used, but I understand that it was necessary to go deeper into it, to understand it better, and above all, to discover what it can truly bring us. During this period, we have focused on training us and training our players on a conditional level with physical exercises, but I think we have forgotten the cognitive, mental, emotional aspect to which, on the other hand, we always boast of giving it great importance that it really has. The idea on this presentation was born precisely with that objective, trying to train cognitive aspects, technical and tactical, during this confinement, and not losing shape either physically or mentally. I think we have a very interesting and on the other hand underused tool such as imagination or imagine practice, which is a term that I like better. And in this case, sports psychology makes this technique available to us, to coaches, and of course to players. And I think it's a very favorable time to use it, take advantage of it, and well, make better our performance, improve it, and create a routine, habits, and a culture of their present, of its presence, I would say, in our day-to-day as athletes that can be very, very effective and positive. Hence the title of this presentation, Train by Imagining, Cognitive Training at Home. Regarding the format, as I said before, mm, what I'm going to do is to divide the presentation in mini lectures of 8 minutes each, and I'll try to condense much information on that little period of 8 minutes. It's a challenge also for me, but I'll try. And every 2 days I will be uploading the information, the mini lectures to social networks. Okay. When I said that, I'm going to start with the presentation. I hope it's okay, and I'll try to be clear and give the information that it's really useful. Okay, let's go ahead. Hello, hello again. Sorry, I had a technical problem, but now we can keep going. Before that, by the way, 8 minutes from now, okay? I try to make the challenge. Uh, let's see the index of the presentation. First point, we are going to talk about the concept, the definition, and a couple of ideas regarding scientific evidence. Second point, I'll describe the technique, and I'll 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 give some important aspect that we need to consider to take real benefit from the use of it. Third point, advantages from using it in different sports, and a couple of elite athletes samples. Okay. Fourth point, practical applications for coaches and for players, of course. And finally, I will give you a weekly training proposal that you can use if you consider it's useful for you. But well, this is a very open mind topic, of course, and you can make your own proposal, for you or your players or your team. So I just make a proposal and you decide what you choose. Okay, let's talk about the concept. The definition of imagined practice refers to the creation or recreation of an experience in the mind or the performance of the skill or exercises related to the skill from a cognitive representation. There are many definitions from many authors. I've taken two of them because I consider they are very clear to have an idea of what we're talking about, and they are very global, referring the term. The other one from Richardson, he explained that mental imagery is all the quasi-sensory or quasi-perceptual experiences that we become aware of and that exist in us in the absence of external stimulations that are generally produced. Okay, there is an evolution on the term. Visualization probably is the common term, but it refers to the sense of sight. Okay, I like more the imagery or imagined practice because it refers to all senses, to all five senses that we have, and also that term includes the emotions. So we can recreate or make a mental tryout of what we are really going to do, to practice, a real experience in our mind of we are going to do afterwards. So that term probably is more proper to have an idea of the technique. Okay, and now, and before talking about a couple of ideas regarding the scientific evidence, I bring this sentence from a genius like Albert Einstein. He said that imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Okay, that can give you or can give us an idea of what we are talking about. No, I think we can find a relation between this sentence and what we have been talking about, and we'll talk about in the presentation. I'm not going to go deeply in the scientific evidence. I'm not an expert. I'm not a sports psychologist. I know a scientific, but I think it's good to know a couple of ideas. When we imagine, we activate neuromuscular connections, and it's a top-down process from the brain to the muscles. So it's been proved that's real. And of course, and another important thing is that the activation of when we imagine, the connection that are activated are the same learning process that we activate when we do it really. Okay, so we can make a conclusion. If you can see it, you can do it. Okay, always having in mind that we need to use the common sense to understand this thinking. Okay, many sports, I would say probably all the sports use this technique, not probably in the same way, but most of them use it. It's really used in a better way in individual sports, because in an individual sport you use probably the same techniques all the time, the same routines, the same way to do the things. In a collective sport, it's more complicated to take advantage at first or immediately from the technique, because it's very changeable. So the decision making it's bigger, it's more complicated. But if you get used to you to make this technique happen in a not in a long term, but before, if it's used properly, you can make the profit. Okay, in individual sports it's easier. You see, you can touch the result very quick. In a collective sport it takes longer, but it comes. But the thing is that when you are practicing futsal or football or basketball, you need to improve personally too, to give your teammates bigger value from your performance. So it's very important to use this technique to improve personally and put that performance at the service of the team. That way, we need to know how to use the technique, and this is the point we are going to talk about now. First of all, you need to have the capacity. Not everybody has the same capacity to develop it. Second point, it's necessary to train it a lot. Okay, and here are some aspects that I consider that are very important to, as I said before, to take real advantage. But we'll talk about them in the next mini lecture, because it's time to go. 8 minutes. The challenge for the moment is okay. We will keep going next day. Okay. I hope that what we are talking about is interesting for you. We'll keep working on that. Okay. See you in a couple of days. Bye bye.